Are you carrying the weight of past hurt and resentment? Do you feel like you're trapped in a cycle of anger and bitterness? If so, you're not alone. But what if there was a way to break free and find peace? In this video, we'll explore the ancient philosophy of Stoicism and how it can teach us to forgive others, let go of the past, and embrace a more fulfilling life. Lesson 1. Acknowledge your feelings. Forgiving someone starts with being aware of and okay with our feelings. Stoicism tells us that we can't change the things that happen around us, but we can change how we react and feel. You can feel a lot of different feelings when you're hurt or wronged, like anger, sadness, betrayal, or resentment. Instead of denying or stifling these feelings, it's important to understand and accept them. A Stoic scholar stressed how important it is to know ourselves and our feelings. He said, "No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have, and to cheerfully put to good use what they do have." We can learn more about ourselves and how we're reacting to things when we acknowledge how we feel. It is important to make a place where we can deal with our feelings that is safe and doesn't judge us. Being aware and kind to ourselves means letting our feelings happen without judging or shaming ourselves. Writing in a journal, talking to a trusted friend or therapist, or making art can all help us work through our thoughts. Just because we recognize our feelings doesn't mean we have to focus on them or let them control us. Stoicism tells us that it's important to accept our feelings without letting them take over our lives. Sophist Epictetus said, "What matters is not what happens to you, but how you react to it." Emotional regulation and awareness are skills that can help us stop letting our feelings control what we do and how we react. Recognizing how we feel is not a one-time thing, but a process that goes on over time. As we work through the process of forgiving someone, we may feel and act in different ways. Being kind and patient with ourselves is very important as we go through this process. A very important part of forgiving someone is admitting how we feel. Stoicism tells us to accept our feelings, figure out what they mean, and control them instead of ignoring or repressing them. We can learn more about ourselves and how we respond to things when we make a space where we don't have to worry about being judged while we work through our feelings. Being aware of ourselves can help us learn to forgive and make our lives better. Lesson 2. Seek peace. The idea of inner peace and calm is at the heart of Stoicism and is an important part of the process of forgiving someone. The Stoics thought that real happiness and well-being come from within, and that our emotions shouldn't be affected by things going on around us, like what other people do. Marcus Aurelius said in his important work, Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events. Know this, and you will be strong." By paying attention to our thoughts and deeds, we can build inner peace that lasts even when things go wrong. One useful method the Stoics used to find inner peace was the idea of premeditatio malorum, which means the preparation of evils. As part of this practice, we consciously think about and picture bad things that might happen or problems that might come up in our lives. By doing this, we can get our minds and hearts ready for these events, which will make them less stressful and help us keep our peace of mind. When we need to forgive someone, premeditatio malorum can help us control our emotions and expectations. If we know that other people will hurt or wrong us, and accept that this is a normal part of life, we can handle these situations with more kindness and calm. This Stoic method can also help you find mental peace. It's called view from above. As part of this practice, we imagine being very high above the earth and looking down at the world and its people from a cosmic, distant point of view. Through this, we can get a bigger, more objective picture of our lives and the problems we face. Seeing things from above can help us feel sorry for and understand those who have hurt us. Realizing that we are all linked to each other in a huge web of existence helps us see our problems and anger in a bigger picture and let go of our anger and resentment. Stoicism also tells us to live in the present and let go of our attachments to the past and the future. From this point of view, the only time we can really control is the present. Thinking about problems from the past or worries about the future will only make us less peaceful. The secret of happiness and peace is to let go of the need to be perfect, the need to be liked by everyone, and the need to control what is not ours to control. It can be easier to forgive and move on from the hurt and pain we have been through if we accept this knowledge and focus on the present moment. Looking for peace is an important part of forgiving someone and a core idea in Stoicism. By paying attention to our thoughts and actions, getting ready for difficulties mentally and emotionally, seeing things from a bigger picture, and living in the present, we can create the conditions for inner peace and make the process of forgiving easier and more rewarding. Lesson 3. Work on letting go. A big part of forgiving someone is letting go of our grudges. Stoicism can help us learn how to become detached and let go of our emotional baggage. Stoicism teaches us to tell the difference between the things we can control and the things we can't. One of its main ideas is the dichotomy of control. It's important to remember that we can't change what other people do when they hurt us, but we can change how we react to them. We can find inner peace and strength by focusing on the things we can change and letting go of the rest. There are a lot of parallels between Stoicism and cognitive behavioral therapy, a new type of therapy that focuses on finding and changing negative thought patterns. Stoicism tells us to think about what we think and believe about the situation and the people involved, and to question any ideas that aren't logical or helpful. We can let go of our mental burdens and learn to forgive by changing our point of view and having a more compassionate and balanced mind. Mindfulness and meditation are great ways to learn to separate yourself from things and let go of mental baggage. According to Stoicism, we should live in the present and not judge our feelings and thoughts. By practicing mindfulness and meditation, we can clear our thoughts and give ourselves space, which helps us let go of our problems and become more compassionate and peaceful. Acceptance and gratitude are important parts of the process of letting go. We are told to enjoy the present moment and accept that life changes and is unpredictable. Focusing on what we're thankful for and what we've learned from the experience can help us let go of our feelings and develop a more positive and strong attitude. Stoicism tells us that forgiving someone is more than just getting better and letting go. It's also about growing and changing. When we choose to forgive, we let go of our emotional burdens and make room for peace, happiness, and satisfaction inside ourselves. Sometimes we give ourselves the gift of forgiveness, which shows how strong, wise, and kind we are. Practicing letting go is an important part of forgiving someone, and Stoicism can help us learn how to become detached and let go of our mental burdens. We can start to let go and change our lives for the better by focusing on the people we can affect, questioning and studying our thoughts, practicing mindfulness and meditation, growing in gratitude and acceptance, and seeing forgiveness as a gift to ourselves. Lesson 4. Decide to forgive. When we choose to forgive, we are doing something good for ourselves and our health. People who follow Stoicism are told to be responsible for their lives, thoughts, and actions, and to make choices that are in line with their values and goals. Being able to forgive someone means letting go of the hurt, anger, and bitterness that has been holding us back and stopping us from moving on. He was a Roman ruler and a Stoic philosopher. He said, "The best way to get back at someone who hurt you is not to become like them." When we choose to forgive, we stop the circle of hurt and anger and refuse to let other people's actions define or control us. We are taking back our freedom and power, and we are recovering our peace and happiness. Making the choice to forgive shows kindness and care, both for ourselves and for others. Stoicism teaches us that everything is related and that what we do and how we treat others affects everything else. When we choose to forgive, we show the person who hurt us that we see them as human and flawed and give them kindness and understanding. He said, "To err is human, to forgive, divine." Seneca was a Stoic philosopher and politician. We can reach our divine potential and grow a sense of humanity and kindness that can help not only ourselves, but also those around us when we choose to forgive. When you decide to forgive someone, It doesn't mean you agree with or excuse their actions or forget what happened. You can't erase the past when you forgive someone. Instead, it changes how you feel about the past and lets you move on with peace and closure. You can still recognize the hurt and wrongdoing that happened and work to fix it, but you can also choose to let go of the anger and bitterness that has been stopping you. Deciding to forgive is not a one-time thing. It's a process that goes on all the time. Stoicism tells us that our thoughts and feelings are always developing and shifting, and that we need to choose to develop virtues and habits that help us grow and be happy. Forgiveness is no different. As we continue to work through our feelings and figure out how to be in healthy relationships with other people, we may need to remind ourselves of our choice to forgive and our promise to be kind and understanding. Allowing ourselves to accept is a strong and life-changing choice that can help us and those around us. Stoicism gives us useful ideas and methods to help us accept our own strength and choice, grow in kindness and understanding, and proceed with calmness and determination. We can make a better story for ourselves and the world around us by choosing to forgive carefully and consciously. Lesson 5. Gain perspective. Getting a bigger picture is an important part of forgiving because it helps us see the situation and the people involved in a more fair and kind way. The idea of Stoicism stresses how important it is to see the bigger picture and understand how everything is linked. We can better understand the reasons and situations that may have led to the hurt or crime if we take a bigger picture view. Having understanding and actively listening is one way to see things from a different point of view. He said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." We can develop empathy and kindness by really hearing the other person's point of view and trying to figure out how they feel and what drives them. This way of thinking can help us see that the other person may not have meant to hurt us. They may have been acting out of fear, nervousness, or ignorance. Another way to get a bigger picture is to think about the flaws and mistakes we've made. Stoicism tells us that everyone makes mistakes and that we should all be careful not to make them. We can become more humble and understanding if we are honest about our flaws and the times we have hurt or wronged other people. This way of thinking can help us see that the other person's actions might not show how good or bad we are, but rather how their own problems and limits show up. As the Roman emperor and Stoic thinker Marcus Aurelius put it, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." Realizing that we are all connected and changing within a bigger system helps us comprehend how outside factors like cultural conditioning, social norms, and historical events affect people's choices and actions. This way of doing things can help us be more kind and patient, since we know that growth and change take time and work. Stoicism tells us to focus on the things we can change and let go of the things we can't. Realizing that we can't change other people's actions or views, but we can change how we react, and what we think about what's happening can help us feel strong and in control. This way of thinking can help us change our point of view from one of victimization or helplessness to one of strength and growth. Getting a bigger picture is an important part of forgiving because it helps us see the situation and the people involved in a more fair and kind way. We can develop a broader viewpoint and a sense of compassion, understanding, and resilience by practicing active listening and empathy, being honest about our flaws and mistakes, thinking about the role of outside factors and circumstances, and focusing on what we can control. Lesson 6. Give yourself time. It takes time to forgive someone, so it's important to be patient with ourselves as we work through our thoughts. It is taught by Stoicism that healing and progress take time, and we should not hurry them along. We should instead focus on taking steady, small steps towards self-compassion and forgiveness. Mindfulness and meditation are 2 ways that we can give ourselves time. These techniques can help us become more calm and clear, which will help us deal with our feelings better. By making time every day to quiet our minds and focus on our breath, we can make a sacred place where we can heal and grow. Getting help and advice from other people is another way to give ourselves time. Stoicism tells us to surround ourselves with good and wise people who can help us deal with the problems we face in life. It can be helpful to talk to a trusted friend, family member, or doctor about something that needs to be forgiven. They can help us see things from a different angle, give us advice, and work through our feelings. It's important to keep in mind that forgiving someone is not a straight line, and we may face problems or setbacks along the way. Stoicism tells us that problems and difficulties are a part of life, and that we should see them as chances to learn and grow. When we have a setback on our path to acceptance, we can choose to see it as a chance to learn something important and become stronger and smarter. Some famous Stoic thinkers, like Seneca, said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Minds can be strengthened and inner peace and knowledge can grow as we accept the challenges and difficulties of the forgiveness process. Giving ourselves time also means realizing that forgiving someone is a personal process that can't be summed up in a single step. It's important to be open and flexible in how we do things, because what works for one person might not work for another. Being Stoic means being open to change and able to adapt to it. Having this attitude can help us as we work on forgiving someone. Giving ourselves time is a very important part of learning to forgive. Mindfulness and meditation, asking for help and support from others, facing challenges and problems head-on, and realizing that forgiving is a personal journey are all things that can help us heal and grow. Stoicism tells us that making ourselves better and growing takes time, and we shouldn't hurry it. It's important to keep taking small, steady steps towards self-compassion and acceptance. This will change our lives for the better. Lesson 7. Learn from the experience. Stoicism tells us that life is a process of learning all the time, and that every event, good or bad, can teach us something. Things can be used as a chance to learn and grow when we choose to forget. Give yourself some time to think about what happened that hurt you. Try to figure out what went wrong, how you handled it, and what you could have done better. Thinking about what happened can help you understand it better and find trends in the way you act or think that might be making your pain worse. Forgiving others is only part of being compassionate. We also need to be compassionate with ourselves. Recognizing your pain and being kind and understanding to yourself are ways to practice self-compassion. Always remember that it's okay to mess up, and that your flaws don't make you who you are. No matter how hard something is, it has a lesson to teach us. Discover the lesson that the event can teach you, and how it can help you improve yourself. If someone broke your trust, for example, the lesson might be to be more careful in the future or to talk to people better. Being thankful is a strong feeling that can help us change our minds from bad ones to good ones. If you are in pain or hurt, try to think of things you are thankful for in your life. Spending time being thankful can help you have a better attitude about life and make you stronger. People with a growth mindset believe that we can improve our skills and knowledge by working hard and being dedicated. Developing a growth attitude can help you see problems and setbacks as chances to learn and grow. Believe that you can grow and become a better person by seeing the situation as a chance to learn and forgive. Not only does learning how to forgive help you grow as a person, it also helps you build better relationships with other people. By choosing to accept, we can make the world a kinder, more understanding place where people can connect and understand each other. We can improve the way we talk to each other, set clear limits, and make our relationships stronger by learning from this. Finding a deeper sense of purpose and meaning in our lives can be helped by learning how to forgive others. When we choose to forgive, we can write a better story for ourselves and others, one that is based on kindness, understanding, and strength. We can learn more about ourselves and our place in the world by reflecting on the experience. We can then use what we've learned to make good changes in our own lives and the lives of others. One important part of Stoicism and personal growth is learning from the experience of forgiving others. People can change their lives and make their relationships with others stronger through forgiveness if they think about what happened, treat themselves with compassion, look for the lesson, be grateful, and develop a growth attitude. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best way to get back at someone who hurt you is to be unlike them." People can make the world a better place for themselves and others by choosing to accept and learn from their mistakes.